Alrighty, hi everyone, welcome back. So this is the second part of the transfer series. This is going to go over what do I do to transfer? How do I get hyper organized? So there's three parts to this. This is the second part, and this is organizing on your own behalf. The third part will be reaching out to UCs, finding events for UCs and CSUs as well, of course, and looking at what sort of programs and things they have to offer. So you're getting the complete picture and you're not just basing it off of, well, Berkeley's famous, LA's famous, which again, that's totally fine to be part of your decision, but it shouldn't be the only decision that you make. So let's go ahead and share my screen and get started. Okay. So this was when I did this event live. This is what we used. And I just went ahead and did a data science, computer science type major. So I want to point out something that's often not known by intro, like novice computer science majors at DVC in particular, and that is EECS versus computer science at Berkeley. EECS is electrical engineering and computer science. That is a specific major. It is a BS. At Berkeley, though, their computer science major general one is a BA. So do keep this in mind. I personally think if you're doing the effort to do all these STEM courses and be a STEM student, I think 9 out of 10 times you really should go for the BS. It will look better and open up many opportunities to you. Having a BA in certain fields and certain positions can hold you back. I say this from experience of having a BA. So I really do encourage you to get a BS. A lot of students are EECS at Berkeley and then, or apply to be in that major at Berkeley and then apply for BS in computer science at different ones. This particular student, when I asked them if they wanted to do EECS, they said definitely not. So they're saying if they go to Berkeley, they're going to get a BA. That's totally fine. You can do that. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying my own personal experience and opinion that I have been held back from getting a BA, which is why I'm getting an MS. Okay, so we started this off, and everything from here is from two things. So UC Berkeley majors and assist.org. So these Google and Assist are your BFFs. And of course, anyone like at the transfer center or the UC Berkeley Transfer Center or the transfer specialist like Brian, who does drop-in with us, these are all your best friends right now when you're trying to figure out how to transfer, where to transfer, etc. Okay, so we look at what majors they have. Let's open up all of the little tabs and see this drop down menu. So in the College of Letters and Sciences at Berkeley, and this is pretty standard, you're going to have math and physics, social sciences, languages, and bio. In chemistry, you're going to have pretty much chemistry, but it can also be offered in the College of Letters and Sciences. So that's, again, not unusual. Okay, and engineering. So keep in mind electrical engineering and computer science. That's what I was just talking about. And that's the BS, EECS, and or EECS. And that is under the College of Engineering. So it's going to fall under any special things for their major and for the college. So keep that in mind. Make sure you know what's special about the college, which you might, if you watch the tag video, then you'll know what's up. You saw College of Letters and Sciences or College of Biological Sciences, and then it said all the majors are selective. So make sure you know what's going on with those two. So then the College of, no, I think that's just the two that we need for computer science. So actually, am I missing something? I thought, oh no, there it is. I was like, I swear data science and computer science are under College of Letters and Sciences, and they're actually under specifically mathematical and physical sciences. So good to know. That's where physics is, stats is, and earth and planetary science, and one of the chemistries. So interestingly, you can do one of them. This could be that this is a BA versus a BS. I'm not totally sure. But anyway, doesn't matter. Here we go. So we have EECS in engineering and computer science and data science in letters of college and sciences. College of Letters and Sciences. Okay, so we know all that. We have that in the back of our mind. Now we come here and we're going to look at Diablo Valley College, and we're going to look at, so make sure this is your home college, which ideally would be DVC if you're watching this, but it could be any community college, and this is pretty much going to be the same no matter what CC you're at. You're just going to make this your CC. Okay, so Berkeley, UC Berkeley, view agreements. So we're just going to stick to what that person said. So I'm going to open up this one, and then I'm also going to open up computer science BA. So, because I want to show you the differences in case you're considering computer science at Berkeley and you're like, okay, but what's the difference between EECS and CS? Okay, so of the actual lower div major requirements, there's not a huge amount going on in CS. There's Comp Sci 210. Of course, you need to take classes to get to 210. There's 260. Then you're going to take Calc 1, Calc 2, linear algebra, and DiffEq. So make sure you're on top of that. But again, like if you look at this, you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 classes. That's not a lot. Well, obviously these are just for the major. You're going to have to still do all the other general educational requirements. Okay, so now we're looking at, well, what about EECS? What's up with that? And really the only big difference here, math is pretty much the same. I think you just take Calc 3, which you don't have to here. So an extra math class, but you need to take physics for engineers, 130, 230, and usually people take 129. So that's kind of like, okay, what about the CS classes? So I do think that's really interesting. I would still encourage you to check with the Berkeley rep because I feel like there you go. Strongly recommended. I feel like you should definitely take the strongly recommended courses. I would take 210 and 260, which is the same as the CS. I think that's probably the smart thing to do because then you're getting out of the way at a much reduced cost than the UC cost of tuition. Interestingly, let's see. Okay, page 2. Okay, so here we go. It's also specifically pointing out you need to take one English class in composition and one English class in critical thinking. So you have to take astrophysics, which is interesting. I clearly have not looked at this one that often. They're saying they recommend taking BioSci 130 and 131 and Chem 120 and Chem 121 and 226 and 227. See, this is required courses for admission. So I don't know. I just feel like EECS is a lot. If this is an accurate page from Assist, I just feel like that's, and they're also encouraging you or maybe requiring you to take anatomy or physiology, anatomy and physio or just physio. So I have to be honest, like I'm very certain that all these classes make sense in the context of your upper division courses, but that's a lot. And so again, I don't know if CS personally, if you have the ability to do all these classes, you have the time. Again, I don't really encourage people to take more than 2 STEM classes per semester. So they should do 2 STEM, 2 GE. This will definitely add up to 3 years if you follow that path. Now, if you're someone who can take 3+ STEM classes in one semester and do well and have the GPA for it, because remember, Berkeley is very competitive, then and EECS is competitive, then by all means go for it. Just keep in mind what your personal limitations are. It's not a judgment on you. We all have different limitations. We all have different things going on in the background. Some of us have family things, some of us have lots of work, some of us have different things going on. And to be able to get that, 3.5 plus GPA, we might have to do one class or two classes, STEM classes, I mean, per semester, where someone else could take 3 or 4. So anyway, good to look at all the different majors and compare, because, and then also keep in mind BA versus BS. Okay, so we did that. We looked at this, make sure we know what's up. So we have a backup major as well. Here's math. So we want to make sure, is there something special about this? Yeah, you need a 2.5 GPA for the math series at Berkeley. You don't need to take physics. You do need to take Comp Sci 110. Oops. And I always encourage you not to click out of Assist and leave it open. I don't know why I did that. It's always a little frustrating, but as you can see, it's pretty fast. Open it up again. I felt like I made a mistake when we wrote 265 into 260. So we forgot to put that in there. Okay. So make sure that's in there. English, are there prereqs to English and engineering? Oh no, sorry, this is engineering. Are there prereqs to engineering? And let's also open up data science, because I think that is what we're initially looking at. So data science, say math classes, and they're saying just computer science 210 for data sciences. But this is why it's important to do the comparison. And so engineering 136. So we're going to go ahead and go DVC engineering 136. And so we might end up getting a catalog, which might tell us if there's any prerequisite courses, but it might not, and we might have to go look. Usually though, they'll say recommended or required. So prerequisite is math 192 and the recommendation is math 193. Okay, so that's pretty easy, 192 and 193. No other engineering courses. So then we can say prereqs aren't there because we're taking these courses over here anyway. So are there any other STEM courses you need to take? Okay, computer science, math, nope, we got that checked off. Data science, engineering, math, nope, that's good. So then this can be an A for now. Okay. So this, okay. So let's also make sure this says language. Okay. So this, what are the lower div requirements at Berkeley? So let's go ahead and go to the College of Letters and Sciences, since we're looking, oh, that did not come out right. We're looking at mathematical and physical sciences. Looking at departments. Okay. I'm like, well, what is this under? Because it's not under any of these things. Oh no. Okay. So it does take some finagling. As you can see, like I am by no means an expert, but oh, here you go. Cal Day and Cal Week just happened. So make sure you know about these types of events. We'll talk about that in the next video. Here you go, degree requirements. That should hopefully be helpful. Okay, so we want to know about this. We want to know about this. And we want to know about UC requirements. So they're going to make you take American culture courses. So, okay, good to know. So once you transfer, AC, UCB. So that's something you need to take once you get there. So this is good to know because you have these things that you need to take once you transfer as well. So you need to take reading and comp. So we're talking about reading or comp, critical thinking. And you can put this however you want. But yeah. So it looks like the College of Letters and Sciences does require a foreign language. You can take this as a transfer student at Berkeley or as an exam. So there is a L and S language rec. Good to know as well. Okay. So you also need to know unit requirements and unit caps. Make sure you have that page. And basically, otherwise it's like American history, English or entry level writing. Okay, that we already got. Okay, so then it's American history and the 7-course breadth. That's pretty much what it looks like. That's everything that they're saying right here. And IGETC covers the essential skills and 7-course breadth. 7-course breadth. And you see reciprocity. So I would recommend, this is when I'm like, you don't need to do IGETC to transfer, but there is something good about following it, in my opinion. I don't think I was IGETC certified. I didn't like go through that entire process. Not some students do, some students don't. I didn't, but I followed IGETC and made sure I had all the IGETC requirements done. So then when I transferred, I had everything knocked out except for my major requirements and like a couple like at Davis, the College of Letters and Sciences has a advanced writing class everyone has to take. I think everyone has to take it at every college because I had friends in biological sciences having to do it. And so anyway, that was a class that I think everyone had to take. So I took it my last or second to last quarter, something like that. And it really isn't that bad in my opinion. So just something to keep in mind. You should get, you will see an advisor many times after you transfer. So you'll get all that stuff figured out. But it's just good to have this sort of thing in mind for when you are preparing to know, okay, let me get this stuff out of the way. So you can ignore the AC. That's for at UCB. And then the rest of this you have to do. Okay, so what is tuition cost at Berkeley? Let's go ahead. I'm going to ignore that, even though that's pretty accurate. I'm going to just go to their actual page. And a California resident, we're just going to assume that you're a California resident, although it's the same for a non-resident, but this part right here is the same. And then you have the supplemental. So we're going to say you're a California resident, since virtually all of our students are. So this was 2019 and 2020. I believe it is about the same now. So we'll just say $14,254. That's per year. So keep in mind, that's almost double the CSU cost. So it's always a good thing to keep in mind. If you have a CSU that you like and that is a good fit for your major, you should maybe consider going there. Because if you're not getting a lot of financial aid, you might end up with a lot of debt from loans, which is what happened to me. I don't regret it, but you know, it is something to keep in mind that kind of sucks. So housing costs on campus, they're saying, we're going to skip over what they're saying, and we're just going to go ahead and look at housing. And just look at their apartment housing and see. So learn more. Let's learn more about it. Let's go ahead and say what's the, is this little flyer going to be helpful? Not really. So let's go ahead and just see if any of these comparisons have cost. They don't. Okay. All the schools are a little bit different. I feel like Davis was a little easier to find the cost, but maybe it's because I knew the website better. Oh, here we go. Never mind. That was super easy. My bad. I just was being silly. Okay, so all residence hall contracts include a $5,000 blue meal plan. You may upgrade if you want. $110 equipment fee. Okay. So let's go ahead and say, whoo, that is pricey. I gotta be honest. 13,500, so $18,995. Okay. So let's say it's the whole 12 months. Oops, that made the money symbol there. That is $1,582.91 a month. And yes, that does include food, but just to put it into comparison, this right here is more than my rent for an entire one bed, one bath bathroom in Davis. And Davis is not cheap either. I mean, it's California, of course it's not, but you get what I'm saying. So yes, that includes food. I would say my cost for internet, my internet's 50, my PG&E is usually 25. So let's say my rent and utilities are about the same. So you are getting food in that, and it is Berkeley, California. So I guess that's not out of this world, but you're definitely not getting some amazing deal. So you can see why a lot of our students live at home or live with roommates in apartments. It is cheaper if you're in a triple. The large triple or double converted into a triple, that doesn't seem worth it. Or it's a double that was previously a triple, is what they're saying. Yeah, originally designed as a triple with 3 beds on the floors and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you can also get a triple that was formerly a quad or a large triple, and it was designed to be a triple. The cheapest is the large triple at 16,810. Yeah, but keep in mind you have 2 other people in the room with you. And yes, they're pretty big rooms. I will give the triples that. I've been in them before, but it's up to you. I can't do the sharing a room. I did it when I was 18 and it was not for me. But if it is for you, you should go for it. Also, they have special housing programs, which is really cool. So they have an empowering women in STEAM program. They have a global environment program. They have an Asian Pacific American theme house, Casa Magdalena Mora theme program. Since this is Asian Pacific American, I'm guessing this might be for students who identify as Latino, Latina. I don't know. Here's LGBTQIA housing. So I think that's really cool. So for our STEM people, this one is definitely great. And for our students who want to be in a housing that supports their, ethnicity or sexual orientation or something like that, or the fact that they want to be in a global environment or are from outside of the United States initially, that might be really cool for you. So I think that's awesome. I remember when I was a freshman, I did not live in a house. It was gendered floors. It was like people identify as men, people who identify as women. But I had another place and it was LGBT plus friendly that my friends lived in. And everyone was jealous of their bathrooms because they didn't have the traditional like stalls for showers and stuff. They had single stall showers and single stall bathrooms. So that was really cool. Anyway, here's more information, more costs, more expensive costs. Okay, so we know all this. So let's go ahead and say you go with the app. So, well, you should decide for yourself, but let's go ahead and say you're going to the cheapest one. So it's going to be 16,810 for the year. So housing off campus, it could be anywhere. So what is your personal house? So I don't know, like some people pay $0 in rent to their families. Some people are already renting in Pleasant Hill. So I'm just going to put this generally, just try to cover everyone. I'm going to say $0 to, let's say, Pleasant Hill Apartments. let's just choose a random place and say it's representative of maybe what you're paying for. So, okay, so let's say this is a 1 bed. Let's say you're sharing it with 2 other people. So let's say let's go with the cheapest one, 2105. Let's just say 3,000, so then it's $1,000. So $1,000, not counting food and utilities, per month equals 0 to 12,000 a year. So honestly, like this probably averages out to about the same. Oh, notice I didn't write a 0 there. Okay. So then you can go into more depth. And again, it doesn't have to be quite as in depth as this. You can cut it off of the classes. And you can go and look at these aspects later when you're actually applying or deciding. But I just wanted to make this really comprehensive. So what I personally did is I cut it off at this point. And again, like I said, I just kind of followed IGETC for the English and humanities. So, oops, I just realized I forgot to write these. What goes over here? My bad. Okay. Alrighty. So I cut it off here. And again, for this, I followed IGETC when I was transferring, and then I just looked at like the other courses I needed. In the major and backup major. So that I do 100% recommend everyone does. This part right here, this is more for if you're planning, like when you're planning to transfer or where you're applying to, depending on how much this is important to you. So like housing costs I lived off campus. That was just, it was what it was. I think I paid like $700 for my own room in a 3-bed, 2-bath. And so that was a pretty fair rent cost for Davis. It's definitely more now, but the tuition, it is what it is. Like it's a standard tuition for undergraduate students. I chose a UC over CSU. I paid almost double for that choice. So again, it's up to you what you think is the best fit for you and how important the research opportunities are at a UC. Not that you can't get some research opportunities at other CSUs. There are a lot at the CSUs actually, more than you usually think. But again, there's just a lot of factors and you have to make the decision that's best for you. So major opportunities. So we can go ahead and do computer science, UC Berkeley events or something like that. So this is EECS specifically, which keep in mind, EECS is definitely like the big one. But here's Berkeley CS. So awesome. We found up, this is EECS. So EECS is like the big boy, big name, I mean. So it is hard to get around that. So I don't know if computer science is going to come up. It might be hard. There's a special commencement. That's not quite what we're looking for, but that's okay. So we might have to look for, instead of EECS, we might have to look for just College of Letters and Sciences, UC Berkeley events. So, sorry. Cal Week. So some different stuff. Okay, computer science internships, UC Berkeley. So that's something else we might want to think about. So this you can definitely steal from the EECS site. Like, why not? So here's some internships. You can go through here. I'm gonna let you do this on your own time, so this video is not 800 hours long. Upcoming events. These are all just UC Berkeley events. Cal Week is for everyone. It's Berkeley's virtual house. Job and internship opportunities. So again, this you can definitely steal from, like this type of stuff. You can easily steal from the EECS site. I don't know, like I'm sure that some of their events are open to general CS students as well. But yeah, so you can grab different things that they've shared. But yeah, a lot of their stuff is going to be geared towards engineering side of things, and that can make things harder. So you can put in whatever piques your fancy here. You can look at, I really recommend looking at social media. A lot of them have their social media. And then last but not least, UC Berkeley financial aid. I'm just gonna write data maybe. Okay, so here you go. Oh, that's not their official website, my bad. So this looks like this might be helpful. Maybe not. And you can see why this was like an hour long work plan, because it takes time. You have to give yourself time to look at it. Here you go. Eligible families with incomes below 80,000 pay no tuition under UC's Blue and Gold Opportunity Plan. So that's helpful. It also, you can also do an application to not have your family be, if you have a family that is not at all helpful financially to you and does not supply you with any money, which I mean, that's even if your family is super close to you and loves you and everything, of course, they might not have any money. But in particular circumstances, you can apply to not be considered a dependent. So if you're under that sort of situation, definitely look into doing that application. But yeah, there's the Blue and Gold Opportunity Plan. So that's a big help if you are eligible for it. So awards and grants of at least $12,570 for that year. So that's a good thing to check out. And so they give a lot of loans. I think Berkeley has a pretty high financial aid assistance rate, but the question is, so the average was 23,000 and 41% of students got them. So we'll go ahead and put in 23,767 and 41%. So we'll go off that news article there, since that's, yeah, like I said, I don't want to meet the I don't want to make this video 8 hours long. Okay, so there we go. That's like the whole process. So assist.org. Let me go ahead and put in here assist.org, Google, UC specific website. All right, that's that.